Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the Victorian Studio podcast. My name is Maureen and I'm coming to you as always from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and today is Sunday, May the 8th, 2016. Well, happy Mother's Day. I had a wonderful Mother's Day myself. We celebrated mostly yesterday. Daughter and I spent the day together. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And today hubby's been spoiling me, and so I've had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. But at least now I have a few moments to podcast while he's off visiting his own mother. So let's see. It's been a wonderful couple of weeks because we've hit 2 milestones for the Victorian Studio podcast. We're now up over 300 members in our Ravelry group. Thank you so much, everybody who has joined the group, and also over 800 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you so much, everybody who has subscribed on YouTube. I really do appreciate all of the thumbs up and new subscribers, and of course, all the messages both on YouTube and on Ravelry. So to celebrate those milestones, it's time again to draw for a US $10 or less Ravelry giftable pattern. So what I did was I went to random.org as usual and popped in the numbers 2 to 306, and random.org here I took a screenshot, chose number 265, and that's NZ Deb. I believe that's New Zealand Deb. So congratulations, Deb. You have won the free pattern on Ravelry. So once you've seen this, please get a hold of me and let me know what pattern on Ravelry I can gift to you that is under $10 US. So thank you, everybody, for being members. And if you're not yet a member of the Ravelry group, make sure you join, because there's a few prize giveaways that's going to be coming up in the next couple of months that you'll have to be a member of the group to be eligible to win. So let's see, Mother's Day. What we did yesterday is daughter and I spent the whole day together, which was wonderful. And she sure had prepared ahead of time. She surprised me by driving me out to somewhere I've never been before. So we left early in the morning and I didn't know what was up at all. I didn't have a clue. And we were driving down the highway, and I could see signs that we were heading towards Grand Beach. And I mentioned to her, my goodness, I haven't brought my bathing suit if that's where we're going. Anyway, it'd be still a little too cold to go to Grand Beach so far. Although Thursday, it did hit about 34 degrees Celsius here, which was just crazy because a few days before it was only 3 degrees Celsius. So luckily it's cooled off a little more reasonable since then, but Thursday was unusually hot. So back to Saturday morning. She was driving, so I had no idea where we were going, and we reached a local park here that's just outside the city called Birds Hill Park. And so we went through there, and I thought, what the heck is she up to? The last time we were at Birds Hill Park is when she was a very tiny girl, about maybe 2 or so, and we went out to the beach there for the day. So I haven't been out there for a long, long time, and we went through, through the park and through the roads there. It was very, very quiet. And then we came upon a gate, and I'll include actually some pictures and video at the end of this podcast so you can see a little bit from that. And all of a sudden we came upon this beautiful big renovated house, and I could see there was one of these big white tents that they use for weddings outside of it. And it was a place called Pine Ridge Hollow. And it's a place where there's a renovated house that has a beautiful restaurant, gift shops, and it caters to weddings. So you can have your ceremony either inside or outside. Beautiful place. Now, we had snow here up until just a few weeks ago, so everything is just starting to get green again. But it was still beautiful to be there. There was a little pond with a little waterfall and everything, so you could see how having a wedding there would be just beautiful. And I'd never been there before, and the gift shop was really, really wonderful, just our style. So what we did was she had a reservation for breakfast, and we had a wonderful, wonderful breakfast together. And then she presented me with my Mother's Day gift. And as I said, I'll insert pictures here. But she totally surprised me. Now, before I get to what she gave me, what was so funny about this is we had a fair drive to get out there. So during the drive, I was telling her, what I had been up to over the last couple of weeks. And I had mentioned that I was doing some sewing this last couple of weeks because as I've mentioned on previous episodes, for some upcoming prize giveaways, I wanted to create some prizes myself. So what I've been doing the last week or so is creating some project bags and notions bags and the like, and I'll show those to you. So I'm going on and on about, I've, been doing this sewing and, I've been choosing fabric, and I went to the fabric store and all of this, and she's, oh yeah, oh interesting, and all of this. So we sit down for breakfast, and before the food comes, she presents me with this big box. And I open it up, and inside, she's been doing exactly the same thing. She's been she's been sewing up knitting project bags as well, and gave me this most beautiful set of bags. And I tell you, it puts my sewing to shame. She is so wonderful. My mother, her grandmother, taught her to sew and taught her very well because she is so talented. So I'm so excited to share it with you. This is what she surprised me with. Now, first of all, she made me a beautiful, beautiful tote bag. This incredible fabric. So beautiful. She has wonderful taste. And this suede material on the bottom. I think this was suede. And this beautiful, beautiful bird fabric. And her stitching is just beautiful. But not just a tote bag. Now here, I'll show you the inside of it first. Get all the other things that she gave me. I stuck inside here. Look at the inside of this. She's finished it off so beautifully. As I've mentioned before, her and I both love turquoise. And look at that beautiful liner. The way she's done the handles, is just so perfect. And yeah, the top stitching, everything is just amazing. So much nicer than what I've been doing. So I can hardly wait to now that I've shown you this, to actually use it. So very lucky to have such a thoughtful daughter. And look at that. A knitting bag, medium-sized knitting bag with a hook on here, or a ring on here. And on the zipper pull, a leather tassel she actually made herself. So it's just beautiful. The workmanship that she put into this. It's just incredible. Matching inside to the other bag. And that, again, beautiful, beautiful fabric with the parrots and toucans. Beautiful flowers. And again, top stitched bottom. What I love about her bags, and I've never even attempted this, is she's not only box bottom, but she's put a panel on the bottom to make the bottom flat. So just perfect. I thought, this came from a store. This is so beautifully done. Her workmanship is just so wonderful. But this isn't all that she gave me. There was also a little wee package inside, and she made this as well. This tiny little matching little pouch. And in that were some stitch markers that she's made. She went to a rock and mineral show a few weeks ago and chose these stones for me and created these. Beautiful, beautiful stitch markers. And I will add pictures of these at the end of the podcast. And I don't know if you can see, she's actually used wires that have little hearts on the bottom. So if it's hard to see, I will, as I say, add pictures at the end of the podcast. So there are 5 of those beautiful, beautiful stitch markers. Try to get them all up here at the same time. Beautiful, beautiful purple gems in there. Can't remember if she told me what these were. I'll have to, if I find out before I put the photos up, I'll add that at the bottom of the photos. Really, really beautiful and so thoughtful. And these are sterling silver hooks or rings on them, 2 split rings. So she does beautiful work. A friend of hers was doing some jewelry making, so she was showing her how to make those. So beautiful. And I told her her bags and her stitch markers are so wonderfully done that she could definitely open up her own Etsy shop. So if she does, I'm going to be sure to link and promote it, because her stuff is just so beautiful. So I was very, very lucky. And a handmade card, of course. And yeah, this Pine Ridge Hollow, really beautiful place. Very fancy for weddings. And that wasn't all, of course. She also gave me a gift certificate for Wolseley Wool. So definitely we're going to have to visit there and treat myself to some wool from her, from one of our favorite yarn shops. So very nice. We had a wonderful day out. After we had breakfast, we roamed around the gift shops and picked up a few things there, and then we headed over to a town called Oak Bank, just outside of Winnipeg, and visited an antique shop there, and I'll show you something that I picked up there. So that was nice. I've never been there before. And then we headed over to a fabric shop and treated ourselves to some fabric for future projects, and I'll share that with you as well. And let's see. Oh, and then we went to the jewelry finding store that she used for her stitch markers, because I was telling her how I couldn't find what I really wanted at Michael's. They had some ball and chain, so it was, I guess it's called ball chain. It has these special connectors, but Michael's was selling it in a roll of, I believe it was 12 meters, but it only included 4 connectors. So I really wanted to use it for zipper pulls, but obviously needed more connectors than just 4. So she said, oh, well, I'll show you in Osborne Village, this wonderful shop. It's got a whole wall of findings. And so we headed over there. And sure enough, this place was wonderful. I'd had everything you could want to make jewelry. So I found some wonderful findings and charms and wonderful things, some of which I'll share with you today, and some in future episodes for some things that I'm making as well. So that was a lot of fun. So after that, then we headed over and visited my parents, and gave my mom her Mother's Day gift and spent some time over there. So what a wonderful day. We spent like the whole day together, and it was just fantastic. I'm so very lucky, and just had a terrific time. So then today I woke up, and when I came into my craft room, there was another bag sitting on my desk, and in it was a skein of yarn and another gift certificate, and this time it was from hubby. So let's see. He went into Wolseley Wool and chose some beautiful Barocco Ultra Alpaca. So he has good taste. He chose a very nice skein. It's almost like a champagne color, so it's very, very nice. And this is the Barocco Ultra Alpaca. It's 50% superfine alpaca and 50% Peruvian wool. So I'll have to find something very special to make that into. So that was very nice that he actually picked out. He says, you can change it for any other color. They said you could bring it back and exchange it for another color if you want. I said, no, it's very special that you actually picked this out for me. So that was really very sweet. And of course, another gift certificate from Wolseley Wool. So I'm sure going to have a fun time doing some shopping there, especially since they're right now having their sidewalk sale going on. So daughter and I already have a date set that we're going to visit them and do a little yarn damage. So I'm so very, very lucky. wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. And I hope all the mothers out there are having just as much fun on their special day. So after all of that, treating and being spoiled rotten, I thought I would share with you what I've been up to knitting-wise over the last couple of weeks. I got one project completed, so let's start with that. And it's in my Star Wars bag that Marlisha, the Pen, Hook and Needles podcast with her daughter Talia, graciously gifted me. And the reason why it's in this bag is because it's a project that I was making for their Autism Awareness Knit-Along. And that's still continuing, I believe, until June 30th. And what that knit-along asks you to do is something that is very colorful. So I made, as I've mentioned before, the Prisma Loop cowl, and this is a free pattern by Cloud House Studio, and there's the picture of it. And so what I decided to do was use one of my balls of Knit Picks Felici rainbow yarn, because that's very nice and colorful, and to also border it in black to make the colors pop. So it is complete. It was a very quick project, obviously. I just knit until that whole rainbow skein was done. I just used the one ball, so it's plenty big enough. And then I was using some Briggs & Little black yarn to go with it. So between each of the rows, I did 4 rows of the Felici rainbow and then 2 of the black Briggs & Little. And then I just did the garter. There's 2 options to finish this off. One is just the garter finish, and the other is to do a picot edge. And I decided to do the garter because it's a very square styled cowl anyway, with all the straight lines. I thought I would just continue the straight lines along the side as well. So what I did was I knit it flat and then Kitchenered it together to make the loop, and then you just pick up the stitches on the sides and do a few rows of garter. So it was very quick. It was a great project to take to work and do at lunch hours and that kind of thing, because I could just do a few rows at a time, and while I caught up on some podcasts and other YouTube videos. So it's wonderful. So I'm going to have to enter that into the finished objects thread over at the Pen, Hook and Needles Autism Awareness Knit-Along. So that is my finished project for the week. Okay, so on to what I'm currently working on. I have 2 projects that are on the go right now, and one is one I've shared with you before. It's the Winter is Coming shawl by Sally Jane Cameron of the Pink Hair Girl podcast that she does with her daughter Rachel. So because it's Game of Thrones seasons, and it's been wonderful to watch another one tonight, yay. I've been working on this shawl, so it's been very timely. I just have it here in my fondant fiber bag by Deb. I just love the cats on her bags here. So this one is a paid for pattern on Ravelry, and here is the picture of that. So I'm using on this US number 4s, and I didn't mention on my cowl I was also using US number 4s or 3.5 millimeter needles as well. So that's been a very popular needle size in the last little while. So for the Winter is Coming shawl, I've been using, I don't have a tag here. Oh, yes, I do have the tag. This is the Cat-adorned yarn that I got from Germany. And this is their black and white colorway. So it was a huge ball that I split into a smaller one. So this is how much I have left of what I kind of took off, which I thought I would need for this shawl. But I'm sure I'm going to have plenty left here because I'm nearly finished. I'm on the last section of this shawl. Now this is called Winter is Coming because it's inspired by Game of Thrones, and so each section of this shawl is unique and reflects a part of the Game of Thrones features environments, I guess. The top part is called the wall, and that's made out of ice. And then the next section that has these pretty little lace snowflakes is called snow. And then there's waves, because there's a whole part of Game of Thrones that's about ships and the seas. And then dragon scales. Of course, Dani and her dragons. And now I'm just on the very last part. I believe it's called Stakes and Icicles. Just double check that here. Yes, Stakes and Icicles. So after I finish that section, I'll be able to cast off. So I believe where this stitch marker is, this is from Sarah at the Pearls of Color podcast, this really cute owl progress keeper. That's where I was, I believe, last time I showed it. So I haven't done a whole bunch, but a little bit. After I finished my cowl, I started taking this to work on, but it's obviously taking longer because it's getting bigger and bigger with each row. So I've got lots of stitch markers in here to keep track of each section. Sally Jane recommended that, and I think it's a good idea. That way, if you're making a mistake, you're going to find out right away within each section that you can go back and fix any mistakes if you're not in line. So my stitch count is good, and I'm making good progress, and the yarn colorway, I'm just loving the way it's progressing from light to dark and now to light again. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this project, and you know, hopefully maybe by the time the season is over I'll have it done. Probably before that, but I have plenty of time. I'm not entering this in any cals or anything like that, so there's no deadline. This is just nice and easy knit to work on when I feel like it. So, and I'm using one of Dani Little Bobbins Knits DPN holders that she made me a while ago, and I will be sharing with you another one of those for a special reason. Okay, so that's one of my projects in progress. The other one is a vest that I started last episode that I just showed you the beginnings of. I got a lot done on that. What was nice about this vest is that it's done with such large needles and bulky yarn that it's just like speeding off the needles. I couldn't believe it. I could actually, if I was concentrating on this alone and being a monogamous knitter this last week or so, I'm sure I would have finished it. But again, there's no deadline because this is a very bulky project that I really won't be wearing until the fall again. So there's definitely no rush to this, but I really am enjoying working on this. So this is my Nordic Trail vest, and this is in my Silver Shed USA bag that I got from great Anne Brody, who's very inspirational and very popular bag maker. So the Nordic Trail. This is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, and it is by Elizabeth Smith. So I can show you that. And I'm using US number 10s on this, and I am also using this Malabrigo Mecha in the teal feather colorway. Now I had 6 skeins of this. Now this is, let's see, only 130 yards or 120 meters per skein, so it's not a lot. It's 100 grams, and it's pure merino superwash wool made in Peru. So there's not a huge amount in each of these, so I had 6, which if I was making the pattern as specified, I probably would have had enough. But what I decided to do is I have a long waist, and I really like having longer vests and shirts and that, so I purposely made my vest longer, which obviously is going to take more yarn. And so, as I mentioned the last episode, I had purchased those first 6 skeins at Wolseley Wool when we were taking our knitting classes, daughter and I, back in February 2014. So this was the first luxury yarn that I had ever purchased. So it was my oldest stash that I had that wasn't something that I got from, say, Michael's. So like a Lion brand yarn. So it was great using this deep stash. But when I was starting to figure out how much I really needed with the changes I was making it longer, I want to make the collar wider as well. I thought, well, I better be on the safe side and pick up another 1 or 2 skeins just to be sure. Didn't want to play and lose yarn chicken. So I went back to the Wolseley Wool website, and they still had some Malabrigo Mecha, but none in the teal feather. So then I checked at Ram Wools, and they didn't carry it at all. And then I went to Ravelry, and nobody had it on D-Stash. So I headed over to Webb's, and I ordered 2 skeins on there. They had a couple left in stock, and I knew for sure it wouldn't be the same lot number. And so I didn't care. I thought, well, if I at least had enough to do the armhole ribbing and the front panels, it didn't matter if it was the same lot number or not, because it would be stitches that I picked up and knitting in the opposite direction. So, it really wasn't imperative to be exact. These other 6 skeins that I had were 2 different lot numbers as well. So what I did when I was knitting the body is I alternated skeins every 2 rows, and it worked out perfectly. But what was surprising is when I got these from Webb's, they're actually almost identical to the 1 skein I had left. So I've used 5. I had 1 left in my stash, and then I got 2 more from Webb's, and I can't tell the difference between which one is which, because those were just perfect. So I'm very pleased. Even though they're a different lot number, they match really, really well. So no problem choosing them to finish off the vest. So I'll show you what I've done so far. Let's see. The last time I showed you, I had just started the vest, and there's the progress marker. So maybe about 6 inches or so that I had gotten done. Well, I've finished the actual whole body of the vest except for the arm ribbing and the front panels. Otherwise, I would be completely finished. So try to show this to you so you can actually see it, and I will also include photographs which will show you better the progress that I've done. This vest is pretty much stockinette. It has the bottom ribbing for around the bottom of it. Then it had a lace panel up the middle at the back, and 2 small lace panels along each front piece. So that's the one side, and it's the same on the other side. So as I mentioned, all I have left to do now is I have to pick up stitches along the armholes and do some ribbing on that. And I made my armholes larger. I like having them large. One of the comments on Ravelry was that some people found the armholes too small, so I made mine a little bit bigger. I like having them very large and relaxed fit. So I'll be doing the ribbing on that, and then the front panels, which will start at the bottom, go up around the neck, the back of the neck, and then down the other side. And one of the people that has knit this before did some short rows to make the upper part of the panels wider, progressively wider, so that she flipped them over to make almost like a lapel. So I'm going to try to see if I can do that. So I Kitchenered the tops of the sides together. I was really pleased with that. Worked out perfectly. So yeah, as I said, I was just thrilled that I got so much done on this. I'm really, really surprised. And I just love this color, and the texture is just so soft. So I'm really pleased with that project. I can't wait for it to get cold again. I can wear it. I'm not a summer person. I could very well do with just fall and winter, but it's just heading into the hot weather. Hubby and I went out this morning and found an air conditioner on sale, and we thought it was a good time to pick it up before it gets really hot, because there's only a couple left at the store, and we thought, well, we'll get it now and then we won't have to worry about it come summertime when everybody is searching for air conditioners. Unfortunately, ours, after quite a few years of having one, bit the dust last year, so we went out today and got ourselves a new one, so that we don't have to worry about. The house will stay nice and cool again this summer. So yeah, but come fall time, can hardly wait to wear this, especially with a nice white crisp shirt will be wonderful. And then when it comes winter time, with some nice turtlenecks and that to show off the lace, will really be nice. So I was very pleased. A really good pattern, so easy to follow, and it really has made me feel so much better about doing a garment, because this is the first one that I've ever, I started my other cardigan, but this one I'm far and away more advanced in. So it was a really wonderful pattern to work on and get my confidence back to finish up my Roosevelt cardigan, which I'll have time to do. So highly recommend the Nordic Trail vest. It's a very popular pattern on Ravelry, and yeah, lots of fun to do. You know what, probably make it again. Some people have made it with and without the lace panel in the back. I think it's a good design, so a good fit for me. So maybe sometime I might want to make it in a lighter yarn and then omit the lace panel at the back and just make a regular vest, or make it with a variegated yarn, maybe some of my own hand-dyed yarn. I didn't get any dyeing done the last couple of weeks, unfortunately, but I do have some to share with you though. So yeah, so that's all of the knitting that I have to share with you today. So I didn't get any yarn dyeing done, but I did get some spinning done. I do have a larger spinning project that I was going to share with you previously, but I decided to hold off. I'm going to be doing a special feature that includes some of that spinning. I'm going to save that for when the Canada Knit Along begins in July, because I'm waiting for some things that I found on Etsy that will be going along with that. And also it's going to be a great topic to talk about during the Canada Cal, because it's a very Canadian themed or flavored project that I wanted to share with you. So in the meantime, I did get out some merino wool that I got at the Blue Hills Fiber Festival last year. By the way, the next Fiber Festival is coming up in a few weeks. I can't believe it. Saturday, June the 11th in Carberry, Manitoba. So if you're a local, be sure to attend the Blue Hills Fiber Festival in Carberry, Manitoba, Saturday, June the 11th. My daughter and I are definitely going to be there. And if you are a viewer of the podcast, come by and say hi. So I would love to see any viewers there. So that's very exciting. But as I mentioned, I got out some merino wool that I purchased last year. I had 2 braids of it, and at first I was going to over dye it because I hadn't done any fiber yet. But I was really afraid of felting it, and it was very pretty colors, and I thought, well, if I don't really like the colors once it's spun up, I can always over dye the yarn. So I thought it would be nice to throw that on my wheel, and it was so relaxing. Putting that on my CPW and getting a few evenings in of spinning. So not a lot done yet, but this is the fiber that I purchased last year. So there's a full braid there. And then this is the braid that I'm working on. So very pretty, almost an Easter colors in those braids. So if I want to make it a little darker, a little more intense colors, I can certainly do that after I've spun it up. So when daughter and I were out for our Mother's Day yesterday, it's a lot of word days in a row, we went to the Oak Bank antique store, which I've never been to before, and daughter found 3 of these antique spindles sitting on the shelf. I had totally walked by them, didn't see them. Took my daughter to see them. So I thought these were really cool. There was 3 of them. I only picked up the one. The other two were a lighter wood. I thought this wood was really nice and dark and more in my theme of my room. So that's what I've put on there, is just some of that fiber that I got spun up in the last couple of days. So it's really very pretty with the light robin's egg blues and light mauves. Really very, very pretty. So far that's all I've got done. But as I said, it's so nice to sit at the wheel and just treadle away. And one night I was even so tired, I was actually falling asleep while I was spinning. So that's how relaxing it is. But it was really neat. This spindle, it actually unscrews. I don't know why. And it also has a hole on it, so I'm not sure. At first I thought it just spun on this to make it swivel, but it unscrews. So I don't know if it's because it was put on something else. Also has a hole in the top, so I'm not too sure what the functions of those were. Maybe it was on a larger machine with a wire, to hold it on or something, some other kind of way. But I love the way it has a base on it. So that was really cool. And it also came with some hand spun sitting on it that was all really dusty and everything. So I thought, I was taking it off and I thought, I'll just throw this away. But it's actually not bad hand spun. It's not the softest, but it's kind of neat. So I just wound it off and twisted it up into a little mini skein. So I might use it for something. But I thought that was really interesting. Somebody obviously went to the trouble of spinning this up. So I wasn't going to throw it out. So I thought that was really cool. A nice green color. So that was the only thing I got at the antique store, was this little spindle. But it was really nice. Something to add to my antique spinning paraphernalia. So let's see. I think that's all of the knitting and spinning I have to share with you. What's coming up in a couple of weeks is my podiversary. And for those of you that haven't heard that term before, it's the anniversary of me starting my podcast. And I started last June the 1st. I can't believe it's almost a year already. So June the 1st is coming up in a couple of weeks. I thought I would have a little bit of a celebration. So what I decided to do was pull together a few gifts and give them out to members of the Ravelry group. So if you want to be eligible to win some of the prizes I'm going to show today, and also I'll start a thread in the Ravelry group and show photos of all the prize packs. Then make sure that you become a member of the Ravelry group if you do want to be eligible. So the first thing that is in for the prize packs for the podiversary is, of course, the Knitting Games prize pack that I won for coming in second for the Knitting Games Dyeing Challenge that was held back in April. So my package arrived just a few days ago, so I thought I would share that with you. So this isn't a prize for me. This is for a viewer of the podcast. So I told Melissa and Brittany and Deanna, thank you so much, all 3 of you, for a wonderful Knitting Games challenge and all the work that you've been doing for the Knitting Games. So there's currently another podcaster challenge going on, and it's to decorate some wooden sheep. So I think the voting is still going on for that. It might be over by now, but I think that was the last podcaster challenge that's going on there. So I'll link the Spicy Homemaker podcast in my notes so that you can check out all the knitting games and all of the viewer challenges and podcaster challenges. They've been going on since the beginning of March, I believe. So these are half of the minis that were created for the podcaster challenge, for the Dyeing Yarn challenge in April. There were 7 podcasters that participated. We each had 4 minis. So what they did is they split those up into 2 prize packs. Deanna, who came in first, got half of them, and I got half of them to give away to one lucky viewer. I'll show you all of those in a minute. Also, to the same viewer will be a beautiful bag that was, let's see now, I have the name of who created this bag. It doesn't say here. It says, "Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy these little stitch markers and the bag." So there's a beautiful stitch markers with a little owl, very cute, and this really nice project bag. Oh, by Stitches and Pearls. I'll make sure that I link, I believe she would have an Etsy shop, so I'll make sure that I link that. Really lovely bag. And so this will be, oh my goodness, there's more things in here I didn't even see. So a beautiful bag with a nice clean, a plain white so that you can see things really easily inside, which is really appreciated. So really cute. Watch me whip. Really cute. So it's a beautiful bag. Let's see, we have a Flower Power collection knitting coaster from Flower Power KIL. So, this is Knitting I Love. These I've seen on a few podcasts. This is a needle gauge and some tags that you can put in your knitting. It says handmade. So that's going to be included as well. Really cute. Love all this. This is, it looks like it's like a felted material. So that's going to be included in the prize pack. Let's see. These are all cards that went along with the minis. So let's see. These will all be included. Oh my goodness. Here is a Hunger Games Mockingjay pin. That's going to be included in the prize pack as well. I have one of these as well. I got when I purchased the DVD Blu-ray set of the movies. So this is really cool. So very appropriate to have that included in the prize pack as well. So all this is going to be included to one lucky person, as well as all of these minis. So let's take a look at them, because people went to such wonderful work to create these. They're just wonderful. Mother love. Now, seeing these on the website is so cool, but to see them in person is even better. Really, really pretty. That one's Mother Love. This one, the seam. And you'll be able to tell who made each of these. Not all of them have the names of the creators on them. This is from Swatch This Fire. Oh, this is one of Deanna's. So she's the one that came in first. And she has an Etsy shop for her yarn called Swatch This Fiber Arts for her hand-dyed yarns. So this is one of hers. This one is Ruse Meadow. Really pretty. This one is by Creative Knit Ensions Podcast. This is Second Quarter Quell, and it's inspired by Hamish. Really pretty as well. Let's see. Here's another one. It's not, this one's got a little label on it. This is from Melissa. I'd Still Bet on You. This is from Cinna, inspired by Cinna, I believe. Really pretty. I love the colors in that. Oh, I know this one. It doesn't have a label on it, but I do recognize this. This was President Snow, because I remember the white and the red for President Snow. Let's see. Here's another one from Creative Knit and Shins podcast. This one is called Primrose. So this is for Katniss's sister Prim. Very pretty. This one is another spicy homemaker, Melissa, and this one is Rue. So soft, really nice. It almost feels like she used Felici as well. Merino nylon. Here's one called Beatty Electrical Green Thumb. This is by Vicky at the Sweet Leaps podcast, a fellow Winnipegger. So very cool. This came from Winnipeg down to Deanna and then came back to Winnipeg. So who knows where it's going to end up? Who's going to win all of these together? This one is, I believe, one similar to the one I created for Effie, the pinks and golds. And let's see, this one again is from Vicky at Sweet Leaps podcast, and this one is called Girl on Fire. Beautiful oranges in that. Really nice, Vicky. Good job. Lovely. Here's one. This is inspired by Effie's frilled dress worn to the party at the end of the Victor's tour in Catching Fire. Really pretty mauve. Different shades of the mauve in there. Really pretty. All of these are going to make wonderful little squares for somebody's blanket or some kind of special project. This one's called Snow's Revenge, and it doesn't say who made this, but it was in the, if you want to see it was in the Spicy Homemaker and the Sweet Leaps podcast and Sip and Stitch. They had all of the people who made each one now posted, so you can see that. Here's another one from Swatch This Fiber Arts, Deanna again, who came in first, and this one she calls Capital Best. Really pretty colors on that. So the last two I wanted to share were the two that I included. I sent 4, so they sent 2 back, and this one was my Capital Couture 4. So this was inspired by Caesar Flickerman, so his purple hair and white teeth, and my Effie colorway of her dress that was in the pinks, mauves, and golds. So that's a lot of mini skeins, and there's some beautiful sweet lavender to keep them all really nice. So that's quite a prize pack. That will be one of many prize packs that I'm going to give away for my podiversary celebration. And I will share with you the other things that you could win. But all of that, all of those goodies I just showed you are all going to go to one person. So very exciting. Where am I going to put this? I could put this back here. Okay, the other prizes that I have for the podiversary. One is Danny at Little Bobbins Knits. I mentioned when I ordered a bunch of DPN holders from her a few months back, she very graciously included another one for free to give away on the podcast. So I thought this was a great opportunity to do that for celebrating 1 year podcasting for the Victorian Studio podcast. So this is the really sweet DPN holder that Danny created, her little needle cozy, and she also of course includes a stitch marker on that too. So that will be the prize for one other lucky viewer. And the other prizes that I'm going to include, and I'll put pictures of each prize pack. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to split these up yet, but there'll be a few prizes. I mentioned before I've been doing some sewing. So The remaining ones are creations that I made. The first ones are some knitting bags. Now these are really soft and squishy bags, and these are my kind of first tries at these bags. What I did was I got spoon flour to print out my bear pattern. What I did was I previously shown my polar bear drawing with a candy cane in his mouth. I had Anne Brody at Silvershed USA create a bag for me using my own material. So this time I removed the candy cane from his mouth, kind of redrew him, and just made for a winter bag. I have a few really faint snowflakes in the background, but this I call my 3 bear bag. So it's 3 bears wide on each side. So that's that bag. So it's nice and big for a large project. Inside I put some material that daughter and I found. I believe it was Boxing Day. We went to the fabric store when they were having a big sale on their Christmas style fabrics. And this is more of a winter style, but very Canadian style fabric with deer and bunnies and snowflakes and fir trees and that kind of thing. So that's really nice inside. And what I decided to do is I added a handle onto the zipper pull. And not only that, I took one of the bears in, I had 2 different sizes of my material made up at spoon flour. I had this larger bear, and then I had some material made with smaller bear to make smaller notions pouches, which I'll show you in a minute. But what I also wanted to make were some little zipper pulls or keychains or whatever. So I cut out the little bears and then just added some padding and then sewed around and cut around to make these little bear pulls, along with a little snowflake on there as well. So these are definitely winter style bags, but not so Christmassy, so that you could use it maybe in the fall and winter time. And I also had my Victorian Studio logo made into some tags. I went on Etsy and I got from Mommy Made It at Etsy.com some of these tags on ribbon. So what she does is she just prints your logo on the ribbon and then you just cut it to size. So we just cut it along the line that she has and then fold it and then insert it on all of my bags. So I've got a few of those made up. So it's so really cool to see my very own logo on my own bags. And these are padded with some really soft fleece, so they're very squishy but padded, so your needles aren't going to stick out of those. So there's the larger bag, and each bag that I'll be giving away will also include a notions pouch. So I like this size of notions pouch, and here's the other material that I had spoon flour make up with the smaller bear design on it. And I like these because it's wide enough to put larger scissors, markers, highlighters, and pencils in here. I find with the smaller pouches, some notions pouches are only like about half the width. It's really hard to put in pencils and highlighters and that into those kind of pouches. So this is the notion pouch size. And then I also tried to make, for the first time, so I'm going to still be working on this, some needle cozies as well. So they'll be matching as well. And so have the same inside material as the bags as well. So those will be, I believe I'll have one prize that will have that set of 3. And then I also made a 2 bear bag, which is a little bit smaller. Still has the same nice blue material on the bottom, almost like a icy blue, and handle and another bear zipper pull with a charm as well. And again, that has the same inside as the other. So I'll make up another notions pouch and DPN cozy to go with that one as well. So that will be another prize for my podiversary giveaway. And also maybe for some other prizes. I was busy doing a few other of these bear pulls. I thought putting them on some lobster clasps. You could put them on your own zipper pulls if you'd like, or maybe keychains or whatever. So it was just having fun making a bunch of these up. There's a lot of fun to create those. So there's a few of those. I'm going to probably make a few more. I was having fun doing those. And the last thing that I was busy doing the last couple of weeks was making my own stitch markers. So this is just my first set. It's kind of a demo so far. I found at that jewelry findings store some nice aluminum colored rings. So what I did was I E6000 glued some clear beads to those, so they'll be snagless. So the bead is actually covering the opening of those rings, so they won't snag on anything. And then I also found some nice owl charms and a really nice clear crystal for the bottom that the owl is sitting on. So I'll make up a few sets of those to give away for the podiversary celebration as well. So as you can see, I've been having fun with all kinds of crafts this week, not just knitting and spinning, but sewing and jewelry making and all kinds of fun. As I mentioned, daughter and I also picked up some new fabric at the fabric store when we were out yesterday, and I was specifically looking for some fabric for the upcoming Canada knit along, and that will begin in July. July the 1st is Canada Day, so I thought I would also make up some bags and notions pouches and some stitch markers and that are very Canada themed. So I won't show you too much today other than some of the material, but I already have on order some other supplies that are coming that are very Canadian that I'll be showing in upcoming episodes that will be given away as prizes for the Canada Cal. That will start in July and go until September the 30th. So I just thought I would, the very last thing today, share with you some of the material that I found. I really love this maple leaf material, and I also picked up some black suede material that will go on the bottom of the bags for this. But I really like this material because the maple leaves aren't like in your face Canada flag. They're really, really pretty, almost like a watercolor design of the maple leaves. So I thought that was really nice. So a few bags will be made out of that. And then I thought I would do a couple of bags. I first had spotted this material and it was on sale, really cheap. And it has not only beautiful blues, but it has names of birds in here. Dove, robin, bullfinch, tree sparrow, that kind of thing. So I said to daughter after I picked this up, I said, now all I have to do is find a bird material that will match this. And she said, got just the thing. She just passed by and she found for me this material. Again, it was on sale, really great price. So that's going to make some lovely project bags that I'll be giving away also for future prizes. So just so beautiful. Actually, when I brought this material up to the cutting table, I got 2 meters of this. The lady that was cutting it was saying, oh, I really want to get the rest of this. There wasn't too much left on the bolts. So I think she hid that away after she cut off mine because she wanted to keep the rest of it. She really, really liked that. So that's going to be perfect for some more bags as well. Some I'll keep, some I'll give away. And then I got some material to do a few other things around the house. Thought I would make some placemats and maybe some pillow covers or something, because I knew hubby would love this material. I've seen it before and it was on sale, so I thought it was a good time to finally bite the bullet and get some wonderful wolf material. Hubby just loves wolves, so I think this will make something nice for him for a future sewing project. I've really been having fun working with my new sewing machine that I got for Christmas. So I really love the artistry of this material. And so what I also found on sale with something that will be a nice contrast to that, either the back of the placemats, or if I decide to make a sewing bag and have equipped that if he ever started if he ever started knitting, that I could sew him up a project bag with these two materials. I think that would be perfect for a guy. And when I saw the wolf patterned fabric, of course, when I saw this, I had to pick this up because if you've been here before, you know I love foxes and just love this material. Beautiful, beautiful design of foxes. Again, I'll either make something maybe for placemats or project bag for myself. And again, I found some wonderful material that will go really well with the foxes as well. So yeah, I really love that. Lots of fun to find all kinds of goodies to share with. And now I'm getting a fabric stash to go along with my yarn stash. And the last one that I found, it was on sale, is something that I'm going to make a project bag for Halloween. I don't have a Halloween bag yet. Every good knitter should have a Halloween a bag for every occasion, correct? Here's a black cat crossing bag, or material that I'll make for a bag. So these are panels. So it has a really nice design on here with, of course, black cats because of my Dakota, my black cat. I thought it was very appropriate. So I think this will make a great bag because I can use the panels, and then these large or long sections that are thin and long would be perfect for handles. So I think that'll work out really well. So I got a little bit of that. Like I say, it was on sale for such a cheap price. I couldn't resist. So I think that's all that I have to share with you. So reminder to make sure you join the Ravelry group if you haven't already, so that you can win some of my podiversary prizes. I will start a thread in the group today or tomorrow, and with photos of the gifts. So what I'll do is, the podiversary is June the 1st. I will close the threads for the prize draws midnight on Saturday, June the 4th. So that will be not the next podcast episode, but the one after it on June the 5th. I will announce the winners of the podiversary celebration prize packs. So keep an eye out for that if you would like to win some of those wonderful prizes from Melissa and all the people at the Knitting Games. Thank you again so much for organizing a wonderful challenge. It was so much fun to participate, and I'm so very thrilled that I came in second. Thank you everybody again for voting for my yarn. It was wonderful. And then in June, I will show more of the Canada knit along prizes and rules for that knit along. You don't have to be Canadian to participate in that knit along. We will have lists of Canadian designers, yarn suppliers. Maybe the next episode I'll start listing those, or at least if you go to the Two Tangled Skeins podcast Ravelry group, they do have a long list. I will link them in the show notes today. So if you want to look ahead to start investigating Canadian yarn dyers or designers, or even a Ravelry design that is related to Canada, then you'll have plenty of time to do that. So I'll make sure I add those links in my show notes. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I had to share with you today, and I hope you'll come again to visit in a couple of weeks on the next episode on, I think, about May 22nd. I believe that's the long weekend, but we don't have any plans, so I will definitely be recording that weekend. And so until then, have a wonderful time doing whatever makes you happy, crafting, sewing, knitting, spinning, jewelry making, and I hope you'll return again to visit with me once again in my Victorian studio. So until then, bye-bye.